Hello, here I am again with another featured number to discuss about is it idiopathic intracranial hypertension or is it a foggy brain from medication? So today what I wanted to discuss is, do you believe it's your meds or is it actually the illness, your condition? It's a very good question, actually, because it could be either or. In my experience, as I was diagnosed in 1992, I could tell you that it's both. Ta-da! See? Done. You don't have to watch anything else. Actually, the truth is that if you think about it, when you have very high pressure and high fluid around your brain, basically, in the very, very lame terms, is your brain is being squeezed. Your brain being squeezed by this intracranial CSF fluid is going to cause a lot of neurological problems. And one of them is this idea of this notion of very, very foggy brain. Very sort of forgetful. That's why many of you may experience falling and other neurological symptoms. The list goes on and on and on and on. You may forget words, you may have trouble actually articulating, or a word may come out that you were thinking one word and another word comes out. You may type a word on an email and actually then a coworker or a family member or friend may say, "Why did you say this?" And you literally may think they are nuts because you typed something else, and you could put your hand on the fire that you typed something else. And they have the proof. It's on the email. Happens to me a lot. I use the app WhatsApp. Happens to me a lot. I send a text, and they even have the autocorrection. And I'll send a text, and I'll start cracking up. Fortunately, my friends now know through many years that I didn't actually mean to write that. A lot of what will happen to me is the word "not" will get inserted somehow. So I will, they'll ask me, "Do you have a headache?" And I will write down, "I have a headache today." And I will, then realize that in the text it says, "I do not have a headache today," or "I not have a headache today." And they say, "Oh, that's great." And I'll say, no, I have a terrible headache today. So many of those things happen to me. So yes, it is a very well-known symptom of pseudotumor cerebri, idiopathic intracranial hypertension, benign intracranial hypertension. But given that, yes, your medications can definitely accentuate or cause this idea of foggy brain. So I want to tell you that if you have seen some of my other YouTubes, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can see that. So then, for example, when I have an LP, a lumbar puncture, or also known as spinal tap, one of the first things I notice when I get my pressure lowered is this cloud sort of gets lifted, and I go, I can think again, right? But Diamox can very much cause a foggy brain. I am actually not on Diamox. I have been on very high doses of Diamox. I don't tolerate Diamox well, but I am very high on very high doses of Topomax. Right now I can only tolerate, I've been up as high, my highest dose has been 475 milligrams. I couldn't tolerate 500, which I believe is the max that a neurologist will put a patient on for, this is my understanding, for pseudotumor cerebri. I couldn't tolerate that. I was for a long time up as high as 475. Then I had to be lowered. Right now I'm on 400 milligrams. I cannot tolerate 425. And believe me, it does accentuate. That's why it's nicknamed Topimax. It can actually also cause this idea of foggy brain. And I just had a conversation with my neurologist not a month ago because of this pandemic situation online. I was saying to her, okay, I'm having this situation at night. Now, see if you can see. So I have the word in my head. See if you can understand this. Okay? The word is not coming out. So I have a thermos of water that I carry with me because I like to keep very hydrated because I'm also on furosemide or Lasix. So I need to hydrate a lot, and I take potassium for it because we want to make sure that your potassium levels are also very adequate. So, bananas and everything else. And so I have a thermos of water I carry with me. So I keep water in the refrigerator, and everything else. So I basically pour water from one bottle to another. And I said to her, in the afternoon, particularly after a certain time, I go to pour one bottle to another. And so there are a couple of caps on my counter. I go to close one bottle and I cannot recognize which cap goes to what bottle. And literally, I have been in tears calling for help. Usually I have help next to me because, my husband has to be next to me because if not, I fall. I am a very high risk for falling. But, I literally start to tear. And I am, very aware that I'm looking at the caps. I should know this. I don't think I am a particularly stupid person, but I can't figure out which cap goes with which bottle. And so I looked at my neurologist and I said, I have this symptom. And I said, this is just one of many. And she looked at me and she went, Topimax. She's like, that's very typical of Topimax. That is actually not, it's not your pseudotumor cerebri, and I also have myasthenia gravis. And she said, "This is not your myasthenia gravis. Let me know if you will need to lower your topiramate, your Topimax, at some point." She said your symptoms will actually get worse as you get older, because the way this goes. Unfortunately, with Topimax, it actually accentuates with age. So when we talk about foggy brain, is it IIH or is it medication? Guess what? It's both. So you will have to be the one, again, the one that advocates for yourself. You will have to be the one to say, hey, I need to lower the medication. Yes, you're not a doctor. Yeah, but you know your body. So, yes, there is research out there that says, and I will try to post some on my webpage, that states that this is very common in IIH. Sorry, I'm not doing well today. In IIH, and there is some that is because of medication, and you have to weigh the pros and the cons. Is the medication helping you? For me, the Topimax does help. I know some people cannot tolerate it. It does help somewhat with the headaches, so I am bearing with it. It's not ideal, but it helps. When it does not help enough, or when I am getting too many side effects, I will definitely lower it. And you know what? This is life with pseudotumor cerebri. Yippee, welcome. And I do know there's subtleties among the names of the condition: pseudotumor cerebri, idiopathic intracranial hypertension, pseudotumor cerebri. Bear with me. I have lived through the 3 condition names. If you want, I can do a video about that at YouTube. You can always make a comment on my channel. I use them interchangeably because for me, they have not found, it's completely idiopathic. And yet I began with the label of pseudotumor cerebri, and that's the one I know best. So thank you very much for indulging and being here with me today, and for bearing through all of my symptoms. Have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you again.